We're heading back to Coimbatore with Team Racer for the level 3 training session. Today I'm going to try rebound and compression settings. As you can see, I can feel every bump on the handlebar. By the thumbnail you might have known that I'm going to test drive the Daytona. And if I'm getting this, I'm changing the exhaust. Broke this.
This is a damage he did.
See the tip here? Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and when you're watching. So welcome to a new vlog. As you saw, covered almost 8,200 kilometers on this motorcycle, and I think almost 5,000 of that was in the last 4-5 months, if I'm not wrong. Did Coimbatore one trip, Bangalore one trip, and then recent Goa trip was on this one. Clocking up miles pretty fast, in fact faster than what I expected, because till June I think this did 2,500 something in almost 1 year 3 months. I thought this is not gonna do so many miles till the track bug hit me. And talking about track, we're having another track session, the one that was supposed to be November. You remember that Bangalore trip that I went and came back? So that's happening in Jan first week. So we're heading back to Coimbatore with Team Racer for the level 3 training session, and I'm taking this bike. And if you've been watching my previous videos, you would know that I've been trying to sell this big beast and get a track focus bike, but that's taking time. So thought I'll do another session on this one. Probably this would be the last track session on this bike, because after this I have a session in February with the California Superbike School. CSS is coming to Chennai. Already paid and got my slot in, but I'll be trying a TVS motorcycle that will be given by the CSS school for this event. March May there is a 2 Indy motored session. It's an open session. I haven't confirmed my bike yet, but we always have a backup option, because with these tires the grip levels have changed drastically. These don't suit off-road, but I'm hoping they would be really fun on the track. So that is something I'll know by Jan, which would help me decide what bike I'll take for the March session. After March, the track sessions would be done, because it will be too hot to do any track sessions, and that would be the case till July, August. So we'll have some time to decide on a long-term track focus bike, because no point getting something in Feb or March when you know you're not going to ride for 4-5 months. At the outset, many might be thinking, you're riding a Scrambler on a track, are you mad? You're not supposed to ride a Scrambler on the track. It's for off-roads, streets and all. But the thing is, it's as much the rider as much as the bike. So in that regard, this bike is kind of more capable than some 300cc class bikes, because one, it has adjustable suspension. Might not be the best in the industry, because these are not Olins, but these are Marzocchi folks. They're still good, and you get preload compression and rebound adjustments here, and the rear is also adjustable suspension. I was planning to get some protectors, but then I thought for track you want the bike to be as light as possible, so I'm keeping these on for now. So the only way I can save some weight on this bike is by getting lithium-ion batteries. That would save probably 1.5-2 kilos. Remove the catcon, but that won't make it street legal, so I would have to transport this bike. The max I can save the weight on this bike is maybe around 5 to 6 kilos. That would bring this bike to almost 202 kilos wet. That's a very sweet spot, considering this is an old school motorcycle with a metal tank. This is just me trying to utilize the bike I have instead of buying something new, because there is a talk of recession happening in Jan, Feb. Don't quote me on this, but there's a talk. So I'm just trying to save some money and use whatever I have right now. In that regard, I wanted to learn how to adjust the suspension to understand the bike better, because when you understand the bike better, you get faster on a track. Today, I'm going to try rebound and compression settings. I can't exactly teach you how to adjust. You have to go through the manual. But simple thing is, you see there is a R plus and minus, and there is a C plus and minus here. So you can increase or decrease rebound damping and compression damping here. And when you turn the screw on the top, that's preload adjustment. Preload is very important based on your body weight. First, let me understand so that I can explain you better. So I'm going to do some trial and error, alternate ways to just take it to a mechanic, ask him to adjust it, and go for a few trial runs and get the best out of your bike. That's the easiest, and that's what I recommend for newbies. For me, I have some time, so I thought I'll adjust it, do some trial and error, figure out if I can get the suspension right. Let's see. All you need to adjust your suspension settings is a basic screwdriver, but you need to mark your existing settings so that you don't miss it. You don't miss the stock setting. You have preload, rebound and compression. There are tons of videos on YouTube which explain. I've already done a video, I guess, but I don't remember the title of that video. But what happens is, think of compression being how much the suspension compresses, and rebound is when the suspension comes back, how fast it comes back. So when there is no damping is how is absorbed by the forks. When there is zero rebound dampening, it just comes back easily. When there is zero compression dampening, it just goes up and down easily. So you want a middle ground for touring. For track, you want it to be the sportiest or the hardest. Preload is something that I'm trying to understand too. Easiest way to explain, please correct me again if I'm wrong, but how much load are you putting on the front and the rear suspension? If you weigh heavier, you want to increase the preload. If you weigh lighter, you want to leave it in stock or put it low. I hope you can see it. The standard setting is 2 clicks open from the fully closed position. So fully closed means 1 turn, 2 turn, and I can't move it anymore. So this is fully closed position. So standard setting is 2 clicks off. So decreasing it 2 clicks. Same case here. So this is the rebound damping adjustment for the rear monoshock. And to adjust preload, I need a different tool. So you loosen this nut and tighten or loosen it based on the weight of the pillion and also any extra luggage. This we'll do later because I need a tool kit for that. But this one, the standard setting is 3 clicks open from the fully closed position. So let's see where the fully closed position is. 1, 2, yeah, no movement. That's fully closed now. So let's open it up by 2 clicks. 1, 2. That's the stock position. So we got the rebound compression damping adjusted on the front suspension. We adjusted the rebound to standard setting. So I'll ride in standard and see if I feel any difference, because if there is no difference, then the bike was as it is set well. As I mentioned, I'm not going to adjust the rear preload now because I don't have the toolkit. I'm getting it anytime in the next 2-3 days. For the front, I can adjust the preload with the hex adjuster, but it's in not in clicks, so I don't know how to measure it and do it. So anyway, I'm heading to the Ducati service center to get this visor tightened up a bit because this is moving slightly and in high speed, not ideal. Enough of talking, let's go take a test drive and see how the bike feels with the standard, with the adjustment back to standard. I don't know if someone, I think Pranav might have fiddled with my rebound or compression settings when I first showed him the bike, but since then no one touched it yet. So let's see, hopefully no one touched it. Okay, I think the tire pressure is on the higher side. Need to decrease the tire pressure. But one thing I can immediately tell about the suspension is I feel it being much more stiffer than earlier. I think rear feels the same. The front feels a bit more stiffer. If you're wondering how I'm feeling that, I can feel all the stones and bumps on the road. Previously they were well cushioned, so the damping was less. If there is 100% damping, you can feel that. I think this 5-hour would be a good test to see the suspension. By the way, all the suspension settings that I'm doing it on my own. I'm not recommending anyone to experiment with their bike suspensions until you read the manual and you're fully aware of the effects of doing so, because this never felt so bumpy before. This is a very bumpy flyover, but as you can see, I can feel every bump on the handlebar. Anyway, plans of visiting the dealership moved to evening. Right now I'm heading to check out a bike that suddenly came up on sale. This was like, I've been inquiring on this bike like almost a month back, and the owner was not in town. And by the thumbnail you might have known that I'm going to test drive the Daytona. Super excited to see how that bike feels, man. It's basically Street Triple 765 in a much more aggressive track focus way. That's a Daytona 675 that I'm going to test right now. It has, I think, modified exhaust, some different rubber, and some basic protection and accessories. Let's see how this bike feels. This is the first time I'm riding a Daytona 675, and man, the riding posture is quite aggressive. I sat on one though a long time back, 2015 or 16, but it's just that super aggressive, and that loud exhaust is grabbing unnecessary attention. turning radius. Not bad, yeah. Second gear में it did that U-turn. Just a light twist of the throttle. This has red line at 15,000 RPM and can go up to 18,000. It's not bad. Suspension's pretty a bit on the softer side. Horns shit, but with that exhaust note, you don't need a horn. Man, if I'm getting this, I'm changing the exhaust. Brakes are good. Not bad. Bike's in a pretty good condition, but too loud for my liking. No quick shifter though. Fifth gear, 35 kilometers per hour, perfectly fine. What a smooth bike here, what a smooth bike. Not that you can tour on it, there is no cruise control here. If I get this bike, I need to figure out how to transport this too. That's going to be a challenge. Even though this is not getting too hot and decently manageable in city, I don't think I can tour on this bike. Definitely a no. Boy, what a bike that was. Thoroughly enjoyed my drive of the Daytona 675. Now the toughest thing is I need to decide if I want to take it or not. It's almost 5-year-old, 24,000 kilometers. So for a Daytona, that's quite a lot. And the owner has ridden it, in fact, from Gujarat all the way to Hyderabad. I won't be doing that, but it's nice to see owners enjoying their bikes quite a lot. It's really well maintained, but only concern is just if I take it, that would be my first ever pre-owned motorcycle, and I'm not used to buying pre-owned. And even though the bike looks in good condition, you don't know what's happening inside the engine, right? It's almost 5-year-old. So if I'm taking it, I need to get it checked at the showroom and also at a mechanic whom I know well. But that's a long process. Anyway, let me take a day or two to think about it if I want to take it, and even if I take it, I'm not going to take it to the track because I don't think I'll ride it to the track. I need a vehicle to transport that or do transportation by third-party service. Not so sure about it. But what I'm so sure is now I'm super hungry. I need to have a quick lunch and head to Dynamic Riders because I'm checking out some accessories for the Scrambler 1100. Small ones like a Buckbuster for the handguards. Not the big ones like on the 850, but smaller ones which can protect the levers in case of a crash on a track or something. And also wanted to check out if I can get a tail rack for a pannier which I have been using on the 850. If that's there, the luggage is much more sorted, but we need to go there and see because I need to show them the bike and they need to analyze if the parts fit because the pannier frame is a third-party one that I have. Chalo, let's have a quick lunch and head to Dynamic Riders.
2 hours later.
Work done at Dynamic Riders, and once the work got finished, I also tweaked the suspension again for experiment number 3. Increased the compression damping and kept the rebound damping on the softer side. So what happens is when I press the brake, the suspension won't go down as much as let's say my 850, or let's say 850 is the softest most setting, so it won't go down so much. Whereas if it hits a bump on the road, the suspension would come back a bit more than in the hardest setting. So that way the bike will handle bad roads that we have, but at the same time it won't have so much of dive in the front, so that I feel more control on the handlebar. You can imagine how many combinations you have with front and rear, with tires different, with your weight. I think I like this setting with a lot of compression damping and little rebound damping because I can feel more connect with the handlebar, unlike the earlier setting where it was just too soft. It is more an ADV like. Chalo, most of the experiments with the suspension are done for today. I'll keep tweaking around a bit more till I find the perfect setting. But in case you're wondering why I'm here in this junction, just gonna say a quick hi to BMW guys and then head to meet Shriman and Adi. They're around in and around this area. Yeah, I've learned how to adjust suspension. Never do it with the key. You see here, broke this.
అరే
tip
మనుషులు
and,
ఎవరు చేయరు నాకు ఇటు
the technician said I can do it.
నీ పొందా ఇదేమైనా ఎంటార్ అనుకున్నావా
So,
దాని అంటే ఇట్లా రాయితో బట్టి మళ్ళీ వేసుకొని వెళ్ళిపోవచ్చు కాంప్లికేటెడ్ షిట్
so I was adjusting the rear suspension. It got slightly bent,
స్లైట్లీ
and then got slightly bent. I tried to undo the bend by doing it in reverse.
ఇట్ బ్రోక్
It broke, and I can't use the key.
A few moments later.
Do the unboxing, and then
స్వీట్ అనుకొని పడేసి ఉండాల్సింది వాడు ఏ స్వీట్ లేక దీనికోసం
hey, మా మమ్మీ బాగా ప్యాక్ చేసింది. We got the new key in Rapido. అరే ఇతనా ప్యాకింగ్ కవర్ మే కవర్
ఏదో వస్తలేదు
ఉందా అసలు?
పూతరేగుల్లో కట్టినాడు వస్తలేదు లేదురా
ఇరగ్గొట్టకు.
వస్తలేదురా
అరే ఒకటే కీ ఉందిరా ఇంకా, ప్లీజ్ రా. సో దాట్స్ ద న్యూ వన్, దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఓల్డ్ వన్.
దిస్ ఇస్ ద డ్యామేజ్ హీ డిడ్
See the tip here? See, that is the tip I broke.
ఓ పని చేయరా
ఇది ఇరగ్గొట్టి
కట్ చేసి ఇక్కడ అతికిచ్చి రెండు పాల ప్యాకెట్లు ఉంటే అప్పుడు తీసుకుని అప్పుడు ఇవ్వచ్చు కదా.
Just when I thought I wanted to save some money, this goof up happened. I mean, the technician said I can adjust the suspension settings with the key. I think he's right to some extent, but after a point, it's completely closed. You don't turn it. I was doing that and it got twisted, so I had to get the second spare key through Rapido. It worked well, but we told the Rapido guys it's medicines, not keys, obviously. I hope the new key doesn't cost me more than 20-25,000. Yeah, even that is quite a lot. Sometimes shit happens, and that's when you learn what not to do, right? Through this video, some of you learn not just how to adjust a suspension, but what tools to use. Don't be so dumb like me, okay? So that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed my misery. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and in case watching this night time, have a good night and take care. Bye bye.